It's loading. Okay, we are live. Happy Thursday, everyone. Who have we got on tonight? We've got Jerry, we've got Gabby, Tina, Taylor, Chase. Am I missing anybody? No.
No, that's it.
Maybe Ronnie if he knocks on the
Maybe Ronnie
door.
if he
Yeah.
shows up, but Holly couldn't make it tonight.
AJ
But
Hernandez.
oh yeah, AJ's also not on. I guess happy Hunger Games 11th anniversary, everyone.
Ooh.
It's always fun, I think, seeing anniversary posts, like little edits and stuff of like the cast, and seeing stuff from the first movie and the BTS from that is always fun, I think. Such a long time ago, but it doesn't feel that long at the same time.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I mean, I guess, Jerry, do you want to talk about the watch along that's happening this weekend?
Yeah. So since The Hunger Games is on Netflix, we decided that we could do a watch along using an extension called Teleparty. And so all you have to do is well, if you have a Netflix account, you can add this extension to your Google Chrome, and it'll add a chat to the Netflix viewer. So if you join the link that we have, it'll be Saturday starting at 3 o'clock, and you can chat along and watch along with all of us.
It's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be chaotic,
Yeah.
but because it's
Three-
just chat, right? We were testing it out, and we were just like sending gifs and like spamming emojis and stuff with
So
just like
fun.
a few of us. So it's gonna be
Well,
wild.
It'll be crazy.
I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get anything official today. I mean, I figured we probably wouldn't, but there's always like that hope.
I
Let us
mean,
down.
the Songbirds and Snake account were low-key ripped off Cromont's idea and was like, all right, y'all, time to rank the books. It's like, wow.
I mean, it was a good idea, right? But then we're ranking 4 different books. Did you guys vote? What did you guys vote for?
Oh, I haven't voted yet. Ooh, I need to vote.
Yeah, you do.
Hunger Games.
Vote for Hunger Games. We need the votes.
Yes.
Wait, is it
What?
between
for Hunger
Catching
Games.
Fire and
This
Hunger
time
Games?
it's
all
yeah,
four.
It's
It's between all
Hunger Games
four.
and Catching Fire, and then I think they're gonna do Mockingjay versus Ballad, which
Well,
I'm interested about that.
you know my vote on that one.
Mockingjay, right?
The
Or
ballad.
no, Ballad. I can't keep track of everybody's order.
Right. Who else voted for Catching Fire? No one?
Crickets.
Well, we know
Wow.
Ronnie did. Ronnie's not here though.
Well, hold on. Just for the sake of diversity, should I
Oh,
vote for
no.
Catching Fire?
No,
Yeah?
no,
No,
there's so many
already
people
joining
voting for
polls.
Catching Fire.
Well,
Oh.
Well, make the case for me. Like, why? Convince me why.
Snow. That's all. That's all you need.
I want my 10 for you.
Yeah, that's all you need to vote for Ballad. I don't understand how anything can top the first book. You know,
can.
like that experience of meeting all the characters for the first time, getting into the world of Panem, the introduction of the Hunger Games, like it's just everything.
Okay, well, my argument against that is that Catching Fire is the formal introduction of the best villain ever, so
I
solid.
feel like he doesn't become the best villain to me until Ballad, so that's why Ballad is high.
Hmm.
I feel like we were talking today about how kind of boring Catching Fire is. Not boring, like
know.
it's still a great book. I mean, I love all the books, but I feel like it feels kind of slow at the beginning.
Yeah.
It is, but I think it has the coolest arena.
Oh, yeah.
Chase would beg
Nope.
to differ.
Nope. It's underwhelming on a second rewatch or reread because I think people just think of the movie and it's not the movie. It's
Well,
still
what?
great.
Well, no,
It's
no. I
just
want to
not
know
as
what.
exciting.
I want to know what you think. How is it not as exciting as the first arena?
It's just, to me, there's a really slow part. First off, I don't feel like the arena is a very long portion of the book. And I think people think it's like a really big portion of it. It's not, because it's like half the movie. And I think there's a big lull between the Victor's Tour and the games. I think that there's that part right there. It's just kind of
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love it still. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as exciting as people think sometimes. I'm just here to tear down Catching Fire and push up the Hunger Games. I don't really believe half of my points, but
No, just
I mean,
good.
Catching Fire has so much love already.
Mhm.
It doesn't really need any more.
exactly.
But when
Okay.
you're reading the book, I feel like it's even more like the movie did elevate it. Like rereading the book when we went through it, and they're in the arena getting these like bread rolls every other day or every day, and it's like I don't know, it's I
No,
don't
it's
know, it's just not
absolutely
as good as the
brilliant.
movie. The rolls,
It's all brilliant. I mean, I love it. Like it's like saying it's not as good. It's like saying your kid's not as cool as the first one. Like, well, they're both awesome.
yeah. I said in our chat earlier, it's like comparing genius to genius. So, it's all great.
It's more, do you want, to me, Catching Fire, especially the arena, is so much more in her head than it is survival. And I fall more into the survival. I like the survival part of the first book, but I know a lot of people like Catching Fire because they like, the arena,
The
and
characters,
yeah, the characters. And I'd rather, to me personally, I just would rather read about the survival. So it's just all what you prefer. And then there's Tina who prefers old geezers.
Well, what do you mean? There's
No
tons
Stan.
of there's tons of survival of they're trying to dodge monkeys and stuff like in Catching Fire. Of course, there's a survival aspect.
Yeah,
But
but I think in
it's more
Catching,
the elements, right? Like
Yeah.
for finding water and like how long that takes, like finding food.
yeah, I think that's more interesting. Whereas in Catching Fire, I found myself thinking like, wow, we are really like, she's thinking a lot more about the outside world or what's going on between other tributes. Whereas in the first one, that wasn't as much of a thing until she meets PETA or gets into the cave with PETA and is thinking about like, is he playing me or not? But until then, I mean, it's pretty much just like, I've got to keep surviving. I've got to keep going. And Catching Fire is a lot more mental survival, I think.
Yeah. And she's in a team as opposed to being by herself a lot of the time.
I'm a
I love
Lone
that,
Ranger
though.
fan.
I love that she's a part of a team. Whatever. Moving on. What was
I
the
love the
next?
team. I love Finnick.
team.
That's really it. Anything else?
I casted my vote.
Okay.
What?
Did you
Who'd you vote
vote
for?
for Catching Fire or the Hunger Games?
I was swayed because I was kind of in the middle for both, right? I was swayed towards Catching Fire.
Yes.
Oh,
That's my
come
girl.
on.
Big
That's
fan.
my
Big
girl.
fan.
What is the percentage right now? When I looked, it was like 75-25.
Yeah, it was that
It's
actually.
ridiculous.
Let me
Mm.
double check.
Mm-mm. That
Jerry, what did
hurts.
you vote for?
Yeah, it was 27 to 73. So the Hunger Games went up a little bit, but
Honestly, it's higher for the Hunger Games than I thought it would be. Looking at the comments, they're like all for Catching Fire.
Well, think about it this way: if her first book was so good that they wanted her to have write in another one, and the next one, and the next one does so well that it outranks the first one. I mean, that's a sign of a good writer. I'm just saying. All right.
Dead air.
Good song, good song.
Kidding.
Dead air.
Let's see. In the comments, Lauren voted for Catching Fire.
Thank you,
Lauren,
Lauren.
whoever you are, how dare you?
Let's
Isaac
go,
voted for
Queen.
the Hunger Games. Thank you. We needed that. Finn O'Dare, Catching Fire. Just-
Jerry, did you vote for the Hunger Games?
I did.
Of course he did.
Alright.
the
You,
only
I
right way
like the
to vote.
movie. I like the movie over the first one.
he's a team player.
But yeah, I'm interested to see what happens between Ballad and Mockingjay. I mean, we know Catching Fire is going to win it all, but
I personally think Ballad's going to beat Mockingjay.
As long as Hunger Games and Mockingjay come in second and third, I don't care what happens. We cannot let the new book win.
Right,
I
right.
That's
think
called
I
recency
think
bias, people.
I think it's gonna win.
Ballad?
That's good.
Yeah, or it's gonna come
There's
second.
no way.
Ballad's
Yeah.
not gonna get Ballad being better than the Hunger Games. Like, come on now.
Ballad will be lucky to get four.
No. Ballad is gonna be Catching Fire.
Did you say Ballad would be lucky to get fourth? That's the last.
It is.
Place.
I know.
What?
It's gonna be lucky to get fourth. Where's the fifth?
It's
book?
just lucky to be here.
New book leak.
Wait, did you say new
Wait,
book?
wait, what?
The new book, as you said, or someone said fifth book or whatever. Fifth place.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
Jeez.
that's not happening. So
sheesh.
Ballad Hive rides. Yes, Jerry. Should we get into part 2? Speaking of Ballad, we're on chapters 11 and 12, which we just ended with Lucy Gray and Corio are talking about actually trying to win the Hunger Games, which I thought was kind of an anticlimactic end to the first part, but no one agreed with me. So
No, it sets the scene for part 2,
Ballad
which
fan.
makes it really cool because now we're seeing more strategy come in, which is pretty like
Yeah.
how do early tributes think of strategy? This is where we see it now.
that he's still like, okay, I'm gonna come up with a strategy, and she's like, no, we're gonna come up with a strategy.
Mhm. Love her sass.
They shake hands, which I feel like is kind of cheesy, but I guess it's cute.
Yeah.
I like how she says enduring horrible things is one of my talents, because
Mhm.
it just immediately makes me think, oh yeah, like President Snow.
Yeah, and even them having a construct for trying to figure out your talent. Like we see Haymitch figure that out with PETA and with Katniss, and that was a whole thing for Katniss. She's like, I don't have any talents, any talents that could give her sponsorship. And now we see like the origins of this conversation, and it was brought up by a tribute, not by
Mm.
mentor.
So he has to find her a guitar so that she can sing. And then they go back to all the mentors are meeting together with Dr. Gall.
I love these little meetings. It's so
Yeah,
fun.
with all the
Imagine-
students together.
Yeah, like imagining the classroom. I'm excited to see this in the movie.
Yeah, I hope a lot of those moments are kept in. I just like their conversations. There's
Mhm.
so many good like little lines that come up.
Yeah.
I love when he sees Gull again. Coriolanus' skin broke into a sweat at the sight of her, so close and so crazy. I love that line. He really goes on a journey with Dr. Gall
Yeah.
throughout this book.
And she's so funny too. She says it's the compassionate one. Like I can hear the
Mhm.
irony and sarcasm in her voice. Like I'm excited to see this character.
which we get another rant from Sejanus, which it's like I agree with what he's saying, but also at this point, I'm just kind of like, shut up.
Right.
You don't need to be saying this. Like it's literally not doing anything.
Yeah, he's on a soapbox. He's not aware enough to see that his soapbox isn't like contributing to any type of change or helpfulness to anyone.
Mm-hmm. He just like doesn't have any self-awareness. Like he should just
Mhm.
stop talking, keep that to himself, and like make some sort of plan where he can actually try and enact some sort of change or help in some sort of way.
Yeah, because he says no right to take away. Oh, you've no right to starve people, to punish them for no reason. No right to take away their life and freedom. Those are things that everyone is born with, and they're not yours for the taking. And if he was aware, he'd realize that no one else agrees with him in this like under like view of humanity, that they have very differing view of humans. And if he can't see that, then how you can't navigate, you can't create a strategy on how to like change anything.
Mm-hmm.
He is so infuriating because of his lack of self-awareness.
Yeah, I feel like just getting up in front of people and like yelling like this is the least effective way to change anybody's minds about anything.
Yeah. Especially Dr. Gauls. She's so crazy.
I love how she's like, you have not been dismissed. Just reminds me of like any teacher, you know.
Mhm.
The
The
bell
bell
doesn't
doesn't dismiss
dismiss
you,
you,
I
I
do.
do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think
Any
your
teacher.
father's offices are nearby. I love it.
So then they're talking about the war. And
Sorry.
bless you.
Sorry.
And talking about how it'll never be over.
Wars are won with heads, not hearts.
I love how Corio is also like trying to never answer the question, but he either like can't help himself or like Dr. Gull just knows and wants the answer out of him. Like she knows he knows it.
Yeah, it's like he's fighting this desire for attention.
Mhm. But he doesn't want her attention. But
Yeah.
he kind of does, but he doesn't.
Yeah, he wants it because she knows she's in power, but he doesn't want it because she's crazy and a
Yeah.
threat to him and safety. Yeah, and it's interesting for them on this side of the mentors and the like game makers to see that the war is outside of the arena.
Mhm.
And because in the Hunger Games trilogy, we see Katniss slowly discover that the war continues, like the arena never stops, even when you leave it. And we see it happen through like her PTSD and just her realizing how intricate like the fingers are within the capital and within the systems of how they function with the districts and whatnot. But it's interesting now to see like, oh yeah, this is established. The war is everywhere. The arena is everywhere. And it's like, well, that was a cool thing about Katniss and what she went through to discover that.
Yeah, it's interesting that those wars, like it being outside the arena, bookend everything. Like, because we do see that in Mockingjay, where it's outside of the arena again.
Yeah.
Some of Corio's lines are just hilarious. I mean, I feel like there's hilarious lines on like every other page, but he comforted himself with the thought that she was old and no one lived forever. I love that line.
Mhm. He's funny at times.
He's hilarious, but you know, still hate him, I guess.
You
Maybe
know,
Highbottom is just
yourself.
as much of a rabbit as I am.
Yeah, him starting to realize that. And I like this moment between Choreo and Sejanus where he's like, you have to stop rescuing me. And he's like, I can't control it. It's like a tick.
Being capital is going to kill me.
So dramatic.
I laughed really hard at that. Yeah. And then he said, don't do anything rash like running off, which is exactly what he does later.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
So then he goes to visit Pluribus because Sejanus doesn't have an instrument for Lucy Gray. So he's going to see if maybe Pluribus has one.
Yeah. I like this Pluribus character. He's really interesting.
Yeah,
There's
it's
nothing to
unfortunate that
do.
he's cut from the movie, but
Yeah.
is that what you're saying, Jerry?
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Like, can't keep everyone, but I feel like he's kind of an important character. Or like the backstory, I guess.
Yeah. I wonder how he's going to find out about the relationship that the dean had with his father,
Right.
because that's what he learns in this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
One way they could
That's
do it is
interesting.
like Strabo. I think Strabo has more of a bigger role in the movie from what I've seen in parts. So maybe it could be through him.
I could see that. That would make sense.
I mean, but he wouldn't really know anything about that relationship, right? Or maybe he would.
Because they said that their businesses aligned at some point. So well, probably not back then, but who knows? It could fit in somehow, I guess.
You know, the capital talks, talks at the water cooler.
Maybe Highbottom could reveal it
True.
to him. Maybe like accidentally. I don't know. It'll be
I like
interesting
that
to see.
better than I think he should be told by him. By Hotbottom.
Which I mean, then he might not believe it,
Mm-hmm.
but he
Or-
already doesn't kind of believe it when Pluribus tells him. I don't know.
Yeah. Or Dr. Gall could slip up and say something.
Oh, that's true.
I like that.
Yeah. So then Choreo and Lucy Gray are preparing for the interview. And we get introduced to Lucky Flickerman. I feel like that's like a huge thing I'm looking forward to in the movie. It's just seeing how he's going to play that and what that character is going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
And just like seeing the interviews from, I mean, the clips and like stuff that we've seen, how I think it's going to just be really eerily similar to like our like nightly like talk shows and stuff. So I think that's going to be really cool.
Yeah. I hope there's like an element of silliness to him. I can see that character just kind of not taking things too seriously.
Mhm.
And it kind of be funny because I want this movie, there's some elements of it to be funny, but I don't know how they'd fit that in.
Lucky seems really cute and funny in the book, and he's entertaining Highbottom and like juggling random stuff, doing magic tricks. I can't see that with the guy they casted. I'm sorry. Like
Yeah,
Abby was telling me, like Abby was like, I don't trust this guy. Just look at him. I don't trust that guy. And when I took a
I
closer
can
look
totally see it,
at
but
his photo, I was like, I know what you're talking about.
I guess it's based on like roles that he's done before where he was just goofy. Like, I mean, I don't know if anybody else has seen him and stuff, but
Oh, really? He's been in goofy roles?
yeah.
He
I
I
mean,
doesn't.
don't.
I mostly think about his Marie Antoinette role, which he was just like, he was just strange. Like, I don't know.
So we're
I
gonna
wa-
have a socially inept Lucky. Great.
well, I want him to be a little strange. I don't know. I don't want him to be a copycat.
He's just gonna like awkwardly laugh at like everything anybody says, which I feel like is very real.
And he is goofier than Caesar, but
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's gonna be good.
And I hope he doesn't. I want him to not do a good job. I just want him to not be so polished like Caesar was.
Hmm. Just like a little bit off.
Yeah, yeah.
Then we get that line from Lucy Gray. The show's not over until the Mockingjay sings.
Well, there he goes on the nose.
Foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm.
the Mockingjay.
And she does her song, The Ballad of Lucy Gray Baird. Which I didn't really like this song that much when I first read it. But after like hearing different versions of it, I don't know, reading it a few times, I'm looking forward to seeing it in the movie. I mean, all the songs, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
I think this one's going to be good. And seeing how
I think
Snow
so.
reacts to it, I think is going to be good.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Close-up shots of Tom's face. Great.
Oh no!
Yes.
Tina.
Yes, give it to me. I love the end of this chapter, but what he really felt was jealous.
Oh, of course.
Ugh.
The narcissist is feeling jealous. So no.
In the beginning of chapter 12, just like thinking of all the ways that like he feels like she is his possession.
Sweet.
That line where he says even Sejanus believed that the tributes was like something that he could trade for. I'm like, he's not wrong. Like in that conversation he had with Sejanus, like Sejanus was never bringing up like how Marcus might feel if they traded tributes. He just cared about himself.
Ugh.
That's true.
And then he confronts her about the song. That line, as they reached the wing, she started to release him, but he tightened his grip. I don't know. Just that like physical possession.
Sweet.
He
Yeah.
he's getting really weird. Something about him feeling possessive over Mockingjays. I don't know.
I'm here for it.
Oh
Anyway.
my god, Tina.
I'm
It's just
bet
like
you are.
he's not only jealous, but he's so mad that she like is getting more attention. That, like he's jealous in multiple ways, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers to it. Like he's jealous that, or even upset that he almost didn't think of it first or
Mhm.
see the outcome of what would happen. Like I think anytime he doesn't have a sense of control, he goes off the rails with jealousy and just
Yeah.
being upset.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he does say later, like, control is his favorite thing. So, yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, let's not forget he's also an orphan. I mean, if I was an orphan and I found the man of my dreams, you bet your ass I'm not letting him go, and I'm gonna go full on crazy for it. So, in that sense, I understand.
Yeah, I mean,
Only you.
I get it.
No, Tina, not at all. That's not what's happening. Yeah.
I love when he sees Ma And like his reaction
Oh
to her
gosh.
being dressed up is so mean. It's like, no, my
He's
so
such a-
wholesome.
He is such a jerk.
And then him immediately, like it, I just love that part because he goes from being like, oh my gosh, like how like dumb that she's like all dressed up and stuff. And then he immediately says, like, oh, Mrs. Plinth, what an honor.
No.
And then he starts freaking out about what Lucy Gray meant in the song by like her charms. And he talks to Tigress about it. I like that he starts, of course I liked it, but I'm more open-minded than most.
No,
Okay. All right.
jeez.
And then he's talking to Tigress, like, what do you think she meant, like, by different lines in the song? And then Tigress ends up saying, like, well, we all did stuff that we weren't proud of, and he like does not want to hear that at all.
I don't understand what his problem is.
Yeah, I guess I don't understand, like, yeah, what he has an issue with. Like somebody else doing something for him, like, or I mean, but she does stuff for him to protect him like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, what is it specifically?
Like, because
I don't know. It's like a morality thing, or
see, I thought it was just him being weird with Tigress and maybe not wanting to compromise what he deemed as morals, but he's feeling like he's giving off the same vibe as with Lucy Gray,
Mhm.
and so that wouldn't make any sense.
Which that's more of like a possessive thing.
Yeah,
right?
so it's
so
not.
is it
It's
possessive towards Tigress as well?
That's what I'm thinking, because it's not like a thing of you're doing what the districts do because he's feeling the same way towards Lucy Gray. I think it's just this weird possessive. It must be something like that. I'm trying to understand his brain, or maybe
Yeah,
like
I agree. It's more confusing.
yeah,
He doesn't want to feel guilty once he realizes she's been selling herself. He doesn't want to feel like he owes her,
That
and
he was like responsible for it.
if he doesn't get this Academy scholarship, he's going to be like, shit, like I failed everyone. So he just doesn't want to feel bad.
yeah.
But does he care about her that much?
I don't think
Yes,
so.
I don't think so.
he does.
Because he's
Beyond
crying. He's crying. He's like, oh my god, I failed Tigress. She's going to be poor forever. When he was crying in the bunkers, like, he was crying for her.
Later in part 3.
Yeah. Like, why else was he crying? I mean, well, partially he was like, well, I'm a loser now, but he was also crying because he realized Tigress was going to be poor for life.
But is
Here's
that
the thing.
like the Snow name?
Ooh, that's fair.
Or is that like Tigress specifically?
Yeah, but if AJ were here, AJ would always argue that it has some type. Anytime you see him do something that maybe could potentially be deemed as like compassion for another person, it always turns out to be inherent selfishness.
Mhm.
So that's if AJ, I'm arguing for you here. So.
Well, I'm arguing for him, okay? And so I think he's a little bipolar, and if he got therapy, he could work out. Anyway, back to the book.
Oh yeah, therapy would do a lot.
No, because it goes back to also him feeling possessive over Lucy Gray. And like, did he want to know the details? No, the truth was he did not. Like, he has some type of problem with people. I'm on page 176. So when Tigress says, try not to look down on people who had to choose between death and disgrace. like he has a hard time with just in general, like people he feels possessive over choosing disgrace in his eyes, I should say.
Yeah, I think it goes back to like just the Snow family.
Yeah, I think that would make a lot of sense. The Snow family, this what he puts his name to, and so his name is forever intertwined with Lucy Gray's now because of her popularity. And so like that is like, and he says like Lucy is mine. Um, and within that mindset, if it's like if he views like that he owns them in some type of way, some type of they are some type of his possession, he doesn't want them to, in his eyes, have any type of disgrace that could be tied back to him or tied back to the Snow name.
I wonder if that's like eventually why he distances himself from Tigress.
That would make the most sense.
What if someone, I don't know, like knows something about their life when they were younger and maybe like what they had to do to survive, and Snow just like wants to separate himself from that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. He probably burns all like the records of them being related and like wipes like kills the people who may like remember and are willing to talk about it or whatnot, you know?
I think that's possible, but I thought in the movie, Tigress was like, well, I was his closest buddy until he thought I was ugly. I think maybe he was just disgusted by her turning into a cat person and then cut her off after that. I don't
Well, I thought, well,
I mean, they
or
might not have even been close because I don't think it says that. It just says that she was a stylist, right?
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Like, did Tigress mean physically ugly, or in the eyes of Snow, like with all this him learning more details that he doesn't want to learn? Does that change how he views Tigress, and from there he deems her ugly?
Interesting, Gabby. I feel
Yeah.
like we need to know.
This is very interesting. Why we need a Tigress book.
We need another one.
No. No more. We're done.
Jeez, Chase.
I want to do this
We are
for another
done.
year.
I want a Plutarch and Tigress POV.
Yeah, that could be pretty cool.
Plutarch books would be really good.
Drop it 3.
I feel like Plutarch is really a connecting character here because
Yeah.
like he's connected to Tigress, like they know each other, part of the underground or whatever, and he's connected to Snow. His family like goes back to the ballad book, changes sides. Like I want
Yeah,
a
the-
Plutarch
You know what?
POV.
Yeah, he became Snow's right-hand man. So to
Yeah.
crawl into
Yeah.
the snake den like that, I would like to
Yo.
see.
And like
No, to
pull one
get
over on Snow, like that's
To
kind of
get
incredible.
Snow to trust you? Whoa, I want to read that.
Yeah,
Big
that's
Libra.
He gets a glass of buttermilk. Have y'all ever drank buttermilk straight before?
Ugh.
Yeah, I tried it once.
Ugh.
Wasn't good. So he's writing a paper on the good things about the war.
I kind of like this part.
Yeah.
When he's thinking about the good stuff, like the turkey and the parades.
Mm-hmm.
The uniforms. The
I mean,
uniforms.
It's interesting that he essentially ends up writing a paper on bread and circuses, right? Like
Mm,
food and
Oh.
the spectacle.
right, yeah.
Like these are the good things.
Essentially, yeah. It's the entertainment that he likes.
And I hope they show what his dad looks like. Anyway,
Why, Tina?
nothing.
Oh, no. Oh,
No,
no.
no, I want to know why. Huh?
I'm scared. I want to go home.
And he also ends it with that line, the security that could only come with power, the ability to control things. Yes, that was what he loved best of all. That's one of my favorite lines, I think, from the whole book, because it's just Snow in a sentence.
Mm,
What page?
I,
180 near the bottom. Or 2 sentences, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a solid line.
mhm.
Like it's like what he loves about power is the security that comes
Mhm.
from being in control.
Right. That's really interesting. So he must, like, that would make sense if you grew up in a time of war and your parents are directly impacted by it, and your social class, your reputation, your everything was impacted, and your security is out the window. And so of course you're going to want to control things in order for you to feel secure so you can get back that social class, that reputation,
Mhm.
like everything that you once had. Maybe he's just scared and I don't know.
Yeah, I
He's a
feel like
narcissist. I don't know. Yeah.
his main motivation though is like not being afraid, like not living in fear. Tries
But
to
he's
combat that.
constantly scared. This is interesting.
Yeah, so he has to be in charge of everything.
Mm.
I love Festus's line at the bottom of the next page that people love a long shot. It just reminds me of the everyone likes an underdog line.
Yes.
So they're all talking about the things that they liked about the war. Which he was talking in his paper about the like the parades and stuff, but I feel like at this point he's still, because he says he doesn't really, almost everything in war between its declaration and the victory parade seemed a waste of resources. So I think he still views that like the spectacle part of it as kind of like childish. Like he was just interested in that because he was a kid. And I feel like it's not until like he's part of the games and sees how the crowd reacts and everything that he realizes like the importance of it.
Hmm.
And then we have more Sejanus just being like, my favorite thing was I was in District 2.
Jeez.
Everyone's like, just go home then.
Who is using a mouse?
That's not you, Tina.
No.
You know,
I think it's interesting that whenever, let's see, not at all things in the districts are worse than ever, and then that made everyone in the room freak out.
which page are we on?
183.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah, because in everybody else's view, things have gotten better. At least for them. not in the districts. I love Hilarious complaining and then Snow being like, no matter his advantages, Hilarious always seems to feel oppressed. That character is in the movie, right? Have we Hilarious?
I don't think so. I haven't heard anything, or I don't remember hearing anything.
How could they not cast him like the Heavensby character? I mean, they at least have to have somebody like who's like the person, even if he doesn't have like lines and stuff.
Right.
Maybe
Right.
they transferred those lines to like the president's grandson or
Oh yeah.
is it nephew?
Yeah. Great nephew.
Which I don't understand why they would do that. But
Mm-mm. Especially if you're trying to make a book
That's
about
all-
Plutarch
yeah.
and you're gonna have a movie about it.
They're gonna
and you
mess it
gotta-
up.
Yeah, gotta think ahead here.
Yeah, I don't see him.
Oh man.
Rip.
I'm still like so sad that they didn't announce the cast the way that they did for the first movie. I mean, it just being like the anniversary, and there was a TikTok of one of the, I don't know if you guys saw it, but one of the district boys from the first movie who like talked about his
Yeah.
experience. And I don't know, just like knowing how small of a role he had, like just really being a featured extra, but yet when like the casting came out, how they like posted them, like it made such a big deal out of it, even though they didn't have any lines or anything.
Hmm.
I just wish that they had done that for Ballad. It would have been so easy.
I wish they'd like posted more at the very least.
Yeah, instead of just leaving it to news articles.
Yeah. Oof.
But you know, whatever.
Lionsgate.
Snow has this paragraph at the bottom of a 185 where I don't know, he's trying to make himself believe like he really cares about Lucy Gray, and it's kind of confusing because it almost seems like he does, but I mean he really doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Because he says it wasn't just about the accolades she brought him, he was genuinely fond of her far more than he was most of the girls he knew in the Capitol.
Oh.
Like, well, maybe that's not that much.
Maybe you're just kind of shallow. Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah. Okay, so he goes home on the next page, 186, and then we have that weird paragraph. Like, I don't know why this is in here about Tigress making the ground beef and like eating it raw,
Oh yeah.
which I feel like this is such a weird thing to put in the book
Mm-hmm.
because why is she eating raw meat now? It doesn't make any sense.
Maybe. I feel like. Well, okay, we gotta acknowledge how this is like a real thing. Apparently, like people in Wisconsin do this. Like they just eat raw meat.
I mean, I guess
to
you
call it
can,
a whole
you
state.
can eat beef however cooked you want.
Sorry,
much for the
or
United
maybe it's like
States.
Midwest. I don't know.
It's
Yeah,
like
I
a
can't
thing.
remember. It's like a thing. I can't remember what they call it, but it's so disgusting, in
Oh,
my
I know.
opinion.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, do you remember what they call it? Because I can't think of it. Anyways, this is a weird American thing that occurs today.
American.
No, it ain't.
Now we're
It's just
calling out all of America.
It happens in America. I don't know if it happens in other countries. Okay, that's why I said it was American. And so like I'm like I don't know why Suzanne is bringing this up.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, what does it mean?
Maybe
What does
Tigress
it-
is from Wisconsin.
Isn't Nicole from Wisconsin? I gotta get her on.
Oh, Nicole, help.
Nicole, do you eat
Do you
raw
eat raw meat?
Nicole, do you eat raw meat?
Yeah, I just feel like it's such a weird character thing because you would think that that doesn't happen until later. As like, is this the reason that she like becomes like a cat? Like, I don't understand.
I don't know. There's been a lot of imagery of just like raw meat of sorts in this book, and I don't like it. Of like muted, like
True.
yeah, like cannibalism, and I'm like I don't want to do this anymore.
Trying to see how often. Oh, I can't. I was trying to see how often the word raw comes up in the book,
Oh.
but it's part of a lot
Oh.
of words, so
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so let's see.
I'm looking
So
up the.
this. Oh, go ahead, Jerry.
I was saying I'm still looking for the raw meat.
Oh,
thing.
what is it called? Okay, so part 2, Act 2 is titled The Prize.
Mhm.
And I don't know, maybe you guys already made the connection when my internet was being sketchy, but on 186, Corio describes her a prize in the bag.
Oh wait, where is that?
Yeah, on the top of page 186. Let's see. Let's see. He wished he could give Lucy Gray something beautiful that would really show his thanks for what she'd given him, a renewed sense of worth, an opportunity to shine, a prize in the bag, and of course, his life.
Hmm.
Something special, precious. I'm interested to see, like, within this act, how many times the concept of like some type of prize shows up.
Yeah. I wonder if he refers to like her as a prize. Ever. No, I can't remember. On the next page, Lysistrata, when she says, "The thing is, I've become rather attached to Jessup." I
Oh,
hope they show like some of that like dynamic, I don't know, between the other mentors and tributes,
yeah.
besides just the two of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, 'cause
that's
he saves her as well.
mm-hmm. That's something that I like in this book is that we do see like a glimpse of that dynamic versus in the trilogy we don't see too much outside of Haymitch and Peeta and Katniss's relationship.
Yeah.
But here
and
we
it's
can
like different between like each pair.
yeah. Yeah, I think that's really interesting. I like that she included it.
She has that line again when she gets the rose, like about bedtime. It tastes like bedtime. Like what? I just can't picture that playing out at all on screen. I'm gonna cringe. But whatever.
You're gonna laugh. It'll be great.
Yeah, I'm gonna laugh hard.
You're gonna say, "Oh, Rachel."
And on the next page, Lucy Gray saying, "Last night, Reaper apologized to each of us personally for having to kill us." I hope they keep that in. I
Mhm.
don't know. I like that line. It's just like so intense. Like
He's
it
going to
makes it
take
like so
revenge on the
real.
Capitol. Although that
It's,
part
like,
wasn't
not
as
as
clear
clear.
as the killing of Forrest. Yeah, I like the dynamics between all the tributes too. I hope we can see more of that. I think it's pretty cool.
There's just so many characters.
Yeah. I'm here for it. I know people get lost and all the names are confusing, but it's just I don't know, it's kind of it makes it more funny.
I feel like it definitely helps, like having a cast, having like people's images in mind.
Hmm.
But yeah, I can't wait to see it as a movie so that what happens like solidifies more in my
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah, so I can actually see it.
I like how at the top of 189 he kind of gives the Haymitch advice of stay alive. Then you move to another space, just keep moving and stay alive until all the others kill each other or starve to death. It's like a little nod to Haymitch there, I feel like.
Can't go wrong with the basics.
Staying alive. This goodbye is kind of like, I don't know, emotional.
Hmm.
Like it's rough. I kind of can't handle this goodbye. Because it
Oh,
feels
Lucy Gray,
real.
I don't want to die.
Ugh. I mean, do you think she's like trying to get an emotional response out of him? Or is she
Ooh.
completely like she's actually really scared right now and like real in this moment?
I think she is really scared.
That's what I think too. But I
Yeah.
don't know. You never know with her.
You never know with her. You never know.
But I do think like she wants him to be emotionally invested in her
Mhm.
survival.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
So-
not until the beginning of the next chapter, 13, but I feel like she like kisses him and like she leaves him with that so that like he wants her to make it out.
Yeah, like it's there. There is like an incentive for her to be vulnerable with him and to just like let all of her emotions out in this moment. So, is it a form of manipulation?
I mean, I guess it can just be both
Who's to
because
say? Yeah.
he does say that like in previous conversations he could tell like maybe she was on the verge of tears, but she's held it back. But like
Mhm.
I think you're right saying it like that she has the incentive to just like let it loose right now.
Yeah.
So like it's real, but like she can also
Yeah.
use it.
Which honestly, wouldn't any tribute want the mentor to be fully invested? Like, is she like I think she's being her strategies, I mean, pretty good here. I would want to try to convince him to have me win it, not
Yeah.
just make top 3.
Right.
Top 3.
Yeah, this is where I would agree that second place is also
It's first to lose. Yeah.
Okay, this is where being a loser matters. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want a participation ribbon.
Right.
No, not at all.
Right. My
You don't want-
epitaph reads first to lose.
And then he's just telling her to follow the plan, and he gives her the compact. and hints that she should put something of her own in there, aka poison.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
And that's the end of chapter 12. I like those chapters. There's a lot of the like students talking, like we were talking about, that I like. And I'm excited to see Sejanus go on his rants, even
Oh
though
my
they're ridiculous.
I can't wait to roast the Janus in these next
Same.
chapters. I'm so excited.
There's some good stuff in there.
hmm And I can't wait to hear Ronnie on how much he loves Sejanus.
Ooh, next week is a good one.
Is it? I mean, the start of the games, yeah.
hmm
Which that's like, I feel like that's the part that I need to reread the most.
hmm
Because from here until the end of the games, I feel like I get a little bit lost.
Yeah, I can't keep track of the days.
Well, if that is it, anybody have anything else that they want to add? No.
We want to place bets on who we think's gonna win. And crickets. That's
But
right.
Taylor, are you asleep, girl?
Yeah, where is Taylor?
I haven't heard a peep out of you.
I'm multitasking. You guys need to look at Snap. They have a replay of one of the Bengals games on TV, so I'm watching that at the
all
same time.
right, all right.
Oh,
Well,
of
we're just
course.
And I'm
lucky you're
flipping
here,
back
I
and
guess.
forth. I'm flipping back and forth to March Madness as well. So there's a lot going
So
on. Right
you're
now.
the one with the mouse clicking.
No, it's not me. I'm on my iPad.
Oh.
That was
I
me.
don't know
I was
who's
working.
clicking.
I was at work.
Oh, it would be
What?
Chase. Wouldn't it?
Somebody's
With
got to
the
do
math.
these taxes.
At 10 p.m.?
Yeah, I was a little behind. Long story. I'm leaving now. If you can hear the car.
Yeah, we can hear the car
What?
ASMR.
What? All right.
Tina.
I mean, I've been home. I went back to work.
You went back to work? Oh.
Yeah, I got there at like 8. So
Mm.
Okay, I'm gonna
the
wrap
work
this
don't
up.
stop.
Okay, next week, chapters 13 and 14. And then don't forget this Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, is going to be the Netflix Teleparty watch along. We'll be posting the links on our social media channels. So check that out and
Ooh.
see you all next week.
Bye, all.
See ya.
Bye.